All right, welcome everyone. We are Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for ReZero, Season 2, Episode 17.
Garf's childhood trauma has been addressed and dealt with.
Yeah. And our awkward doofus little 13-year-old boy, he's going to be joining the squad.
Yep.
And he even looks up a little bit to Subaru with like that, hey, you're like my big brother kind of thing, you know?
Elsa.
It's amazing. Yes, exactly. Good luck, Elsa. Yeah. We're coming for you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Right. Tomorrow.
Soon.
Yeah,
soon.
Because they are running up on that time limit. But,
right, but we have some trials for Emilia.
Indeed.
Potentially multiple trials. We shall
Emilia,
see.
I said which?
Yeah. Which do you vouch for? Or
Which is bewitching.
Which is bewitching.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. Literally.
I love that Emilia is channeling all of Subaru, basically. Subaru, because of, like, her going up against Echidna. But I love in some ways that Echidna probably recognizes exactly where this came from.
Oh, yeah.
And of course with her, like, floozy and loose
greed.
woman and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, very, very much like, no, not envy, Jacob.
No, greed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if your stuff is everything, then,
That's true.
then they're touching your stuff.
It gets dangerously close to envy.
Yeah.
It does. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get greedy.
前回の試練での無様な悪戦苦闘のことは覚えているかい？その悪態に言い返せないくらい全然ダメな子だったことはね。そして今もまだ私の準備ができてなくて。だから今回も失敗しても仕方ないと。
Okay.
All right.
These two, just let's go. Oh.
エミリア、今から大事な用事があるの。だから部屋でおとなしくしていてね。また大事なご用事？つまんない。嘘とか隠し事はダメって母様は私に言うくせに。ねえ。
Oh.
こそこそ。
In like an
Oh,
isolated,
wait.
like protected place. Wait.
The ones with the cloaks, yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Holy shit, she is.
あなたたちにはお世話になる。
Oh my god, this.
Yeah.
Wait.
This is probably the person that Beatrice knows.
You notice that all the women are elves and all the cultists are humans?
Oh, okay.
そう最後に一つだけエミリア様は息災であられますか？
エミリアは元気ですごーくいい子に育ってる。あなたに合わせるわけには。
良いのです。エミリア様が健やかに育ってくださるならばそれで十分。それ以上望むのはこの罪人たる身には過ぎた願いです。
I have to meet this.
Yeah,
Betelgeuse.
how did
Like,
he turn
what
into
is-
the person that
Yeah.
we knew?
Oh, he's not yet.
Archbishop.
Okay. Yeah, Romani Conte.
フォルトナ様、お疲れですか？
あまり年寄り扱いしないでちょうだい。そりゃ若いあなたに比べたら年寄りだけど、まだまだ現役よ。
Another thing I realized is Fortuna has the pendant on her hair. Oh no, you're gonna be too dirty.
Yeah.
どうしよう。
That's gonna be kind of obvious. Spirit arts, yes. Prestidigitation.
Yes.
Minor healing.
Minor cantrip.
Clean
Yes.
up. Yeah.
母様？なんでもないの。ただすごーくエミリアに会いたくて。ねえ、エミリア。愛しているわ。少しずつ心の奥底にしまった情景と記憶の景色が重なってきたんじゃないかな。意外。さっきの私とか母様のこともっとチクチク言われると思ったのに、ただでさえ僕の中で低い君の評価がそれこそ勢いよく下落していくよ。あ、大丈夫よ。私もこんなことエキドナ以外に言ったりしないわ。君はだんだんと彼の影響を強く受けつつある。本当に？ありがとう。
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh.
おいで、妖精さん。今日も脱獄するよ。
エミリア開けるぞ。
してこようわ。
その前におやつ持ってきた。木の実だ。これ食べておとなしくしてるんだぞ。
最近アーチがすごく心配性だから気をつけなくっちゃ。ささ、今日もジュースたちが来てる。
Getting faster.
Yeah, yeah.
もっと楽しいこと隠してると思ったのに。
甘えてばっかりなのに催促したみたいでごめんなさい。大人の服もある？
ええ、もちろん。フォルトナ様にもきっとよくお似合いのものがありますよ。
Oh.
もう長い付き合いだけど、いつからそんな冗談を言うようになったの？
本心を告げたつもりですが、何かおかしなことを言ってしまいましたか？
ジュースのバカ。あとアーチもバカ。
That's one of my favorite gags in anime. Oh, this is great.
今森の外の情勢が何やらきな臭い。急かもしれませんが、心に留め置いていただきたくよろしくお願いいたします。エミリア様やあのお二人のためにも。
The two of them?
ふーいん。
Mom and
the
dad, maybe?
parents, yeah. Okay, okay. Because there's a couple things that we might not be understanding accurately about the motivations as to why they're, you know, watching over her here, you know?
Oh, uh-huh.
Whoa.
扉。
Whoa.
奇妙な光景だね。
Yeah.
これが
Oh.
封印。この封印があって、それで。
Oh, it kept
So
Emilia's
Makoto
power
Makita.
away from her.
Oh. Something
これが
that's so
封印？
external, you know?
Right.
Oftentimes, seals of this nature are more like a
seal
spell
on the
put on
body.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
別のやつに先に見られた。おお、
Thank you for clarifying that,
Yeah.
Subaru. Yeah. I was confused about that last episode.
シーマ様がバルスと話したがっているわ。
Oh.
昨夜、
Okay.
続きを話したいそうよ。
Oh, good, good, good. Okay.
ババアとは何をどこまで話してたんだよ。言い直さなくってもお前がばあちゃん子なのはバレてっからね。それは
この聖域を解放する上で避けては通れぬ話をじゃよ。
Oh.
Okay.
All right, all right.
よいしょよいしょよいしょ。どうしてパタンって倒れないんだろう。へんてこりんでよくわかんない。よーし、お家に帰ろ。今日の画伯はお空を赤くして森を真っ白にする気分。ひょっとして事件の予感？
Oh no.
Yeah.
これは困りましたね。そこの可愛いお尻はどなたですか？
Classic kid hiding. You know?
Right, right, exactly.
節度ある待遇を求める。
Temperate
Temperate
mercy.
mercy.
これは随分と可愛らしいお嬢さんがお出ましに。お嬢さん、
Oh shit.
Yeah.
あなたはまさか。
Yeah.
ジュース大丈夫？
大丈夫ですとも。何の問題もありません。だって私は今、たった今、これ以上ないほどに。
If he says anything about his mind trembling, I am going to flip.
嬉しくても泣いちゃう。大丈夫だよ、ジュース。大丈夫。こんなにたくさんあったはずのことを忘れて。でもきっとちょっと前の私じゃこれを受け止められなかった。怖いけどうずくまったりしないわ。泣いてわめいて父親か男にすがるいやらしい女である君らしい決断をやめるのか。それをしてもきっとスバルは許してくれるけど、弱い私のままでいることを開き直ったりしたくない。好きにしたらいいさ。僕はせいぜい君の苦悩に留飲を下げることにする。
お待ちください、エミリア様。そう走り回られては危険ですよ。
やだやだ、ほら捕まえてごらんなさい。
この子のやんちゃぶりには私たちは手を抜いてるんだから。
母様もジュースもなんで追いかけてきてくれないの？今追いかけっこの途中でしょ。
That's right.
ああ、申し訳ありません。私としたことが一生の深く。
エミリア、ちょっといらっしゃい。
なに母様。
はい、残念。エミリアはフォルトナ母様に捕まってしまったのでした。
You fell for the classic blunder.
今のダメ卑怯反省して。
あら、この子ったらそんなこと言って信じる気持ちの
I
表
mean,
れ
didn't
だ
she
から。
just touch it?
それを破るのは信じてくれてる気持ちを裏
Oh,
切るこ
right,
と
yeah.
だか
She
ら。
tried to knock it over. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
エミリア、母様と約束して。約束は今度からちゃんと守るって。それでジュースの方は大丈夫？
私にはあまりにも眩しすぎる光景で涙をこらえられず。
What's the point
私
of the
今日はジュー
seal?
スの味方。絶対精霊術師になるもん。で
ほら、本気にしちゃったじゃない。どう責任取ってくれるの？
あ、いえ、なんとも、困りましたね。
なんかフォルトナ母様とジュースってお父さんとお母
Yep,
さんみた
yep,
い。
yep, yep.
Mm-hmm.
変なこと言わないの。母様とジュースはもうずっと長い
そうですよ、
付き合いで。
エミリアさん。
Right, right.
私にとってフォルトナ様ですら幼子の。
Wait, whoa, 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 whoa.
Wait, as long as yours.
Yours, yeah.
ま、いいわ。許しましょう。 でも、すごーく反省なさい。
Oh my. Pay for it in the bedroom.
Yeah, yeah.
That was some bedroom eyes right there.
Auntie Fortuna, what is
それこそ
foreplay? No,
Right,
you
right.
don't need
お
to.
父様とお
Nothing.
母様が健在の頃から。
Oh,
申し訳ありません。
またね
oh,
ジュース。
oh,
泣いてちゃダメだからね。
Oh boy.
oh,
Oh boy.
必ずまた次の機会に。
oh boy.
Well.
Pride. What's his name? The
人の名前を尋ねるときはまずは自分から名乗るのが筋ってものなんじゃないの？お互い顔を合わせるのは初めて同士、ね、
男のくせに随分と長話が好きみたいね。
男のくせにっていかにも比べる男を知らなそうな偏見が垣間見えるよね。
いい加減に自分に酔いながら話すのをやめなさい。あなたは何者なの？
魔女教滞在司教強欲担当レグルス・コルニアス。
Okay.
all right.
Well.
Whale, whale, whale. Whale, whale, whale. All right, guys.
Well,
we have got
okay.
the trial underway, and this is Emilia's past.
This was much more wholesome and positive than I expected.
Yeah, and this is probably the last part of it that's going to be wholesome and positive, because what we have here is a pseudo-family
Yep.
that are in a very unique situation.
Quite.
With one of them that we have spent a particular amount of time with in season 1
Under different circumstances.
Different circumstances.
Yeah.
But also the other one being someone that maybe we assumed was one way because of the OVA, but now we know she's not actually her mother, but she calls her
Right.
mother. Which is, I think that's just a lovely way to describe the role someone plays in someone's life versus
Yes.
their actual
Blood and all that,
Blood
yeah.
and all that. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, Emilia is a part of a colony of elves
Right.
that are specifically being kept in this area of the forest. And they seem to be very much isolated.
Yeah, secluded and like, yep.
Maybe even hidden magically. Now,
Probably.
Now, this group of people, humans specifically, this was
Yep.
something I noted, was that the elves, they're all elves, in
Right.
the colony, but then all the people that are with Petelgeuse, they're
human.
They're human.
But at the same time, apparently the elves are the young ones compared to at least
Right.
the youths. So
yeah, what?
what the hell is that? I have no idea. But
I think
okay.
I think what it means. I think what it means primarily is that well, to put this lightly, is that the elves are in the care of the order by which Romani Conti belongs to.
And it's probably this is probably also the tie-in of how Beatrice knows Betelgeuse and is so close to him, because he's not just a regular human that lives and dies on the regular span. He is very old.
He's very old.
So that's how she knows him. Hence why her being all sad when he dies.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he's going to be a much bigger character in the story. Moving forward here.
Yes.
Because we know he can't die here. So he has to be taken away before the cataclysmic Emilia freezes everything event happens. Or at the very least, he's going to be very close by, but not get not get physically damaged anyway. But
maybe mentally. Maybe mentally. Because the way that he was so obsessive over Emilia, like very much like worshiping her in
this bit here,
this bit was it made for some sweet moments, right, where she doesn't understand the whole situation, right, and how important she is and all that stuff, and so she's just being kind to him and whatnot. But there's that whole part where it's like, okay, at any point with what he's saying, he could just slip a "my mind trembles" at the end of it, and but thankfully we didn't get any of that this episode,
right? Because for now, we are watching these three play family when none of them are actually family. And that's a really sweet and sad thing, because we know that it doesn't end with them becoming family in the formal sense. And
if it does, it doesn't last.
Well, yeah, and it definitely had the element of looking like it to Emilia here.
Totally.
But then we have Regulus Corneus, a.k.a. the Archbishop of Greed, showing up, and he's just gonna fight here.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna throw hands.
This is where things get a little bit weird. Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse, whatever you want to call him.
Right.
Is he actually connected to a witch's cult, Satila's cult, the sloth cult? What? We need to know more about you, buddy.
Yeah, but he still has the same robes, and we know that he's a bishop, not an archbishop, but a bishop, which makes me think that he's still in that same kind of organization. But he's not insane, and he looks very different. There was a lot of face tugging that would have had to happen from here to season 1 in order to get the person that we knew.
Yeah.
So
what I assume it is, this is my assumption a little bit, is that he is not connected at all with Sloth yet. Okay. He is entirely a being that has been given some kind of power that allows him to be immortal.
Right. He's maybe a hopeful as an archbishop or something like that. And
However, I do think he is connected to Satila, and this is where I think things come into a little bit of interesting territory. If he is older than the elf here, Mother Fortuna.
Right, and we don't know exactly how old Mother Fortuna is, but the idea that just that comparison can be made, that's pretty crazy.
Right, and so what I would go out on a limb here with is that Mother Fortuna is very much in the triple digits. That's just my assumption.
Yeah.
But Betelgeuse could theoretically be in the high triple digits.
Which is right, because if he's like the closest comparison we have for how old Betelgeuse is that he's probably comparable in age to Beatrice.
Exactly. Yep.
Because Beatrice, she wept for him, not like in the you are someone that I knew for a time.
Right.
Like, he almost gives me the vibe that he would have been childhood friends with Beatrice.
Yeah,
like,
at the very least, I would assume either a familial relationship or some kind of romantic one.
Sure.
And familial is something that could extend to non-blood relation, but just being like brother and sister or something.
And even
like
romantic, that probably gets complicated when you get into the multi-century age range.
Yeah, because you have one of the few people that could actually share memories with.
Exactly, right. The very concept of how that would even happen would probably be very different than how mortals would think of it.
Absolutely.
But,
Okay. So, we've got this colony of elves here. They're getting supplies from Betelgeuse's group. I liked them showing that to basically give a little bit of info that they don't necessarily have any other people that contact them.
Right.
But the awkward kind of your parents are busy kind of thing with Emilia here, that could just be a flat out lie and that they're dead.
Sure.
But the fact that we've gone through multiple times of her sneaking out and stuff like that, but never seen her parents,
right,
makes me think that there's something about them being maybe in the outside world, like just, they're not here in the forest anymore, or that they're just actually dead.
Sure. Or potentially Emilia was whisked away. Now
she's been stolen and they're hiding her here.
Right, and that's very specific, and there's no reason necessarily for me to think that, because it's like Emilia very well has probably seen mom and dad, and it's just they're not here right now. Rather than
especially since she looks like
yes.
Mother Fortuna, which means that Mother Fortuna is
related to
her, and thus also related to her father. This is something that I found to be rather interesting here. This is something that maybe is a bit of a weird assumption to make, just in general. But when I saw that they were all elves, but then all the people with Betelgeuse were all humans, I was like, wait a minute.
Is this like a half-elf production facility?
Exactly. But then I was like, but wait, there's only one child, like baby, young child here. But what if that's not it?
Well,
what if actually all the ones that are way younger, like the one Archie?
The elf.
What if he was one where it was like, no, we tried, but you ended up being a boy.
Yeah.
So too bad.
So here's something that we do know about Emilia's parents, actually, by this point.
Yeah.
We know that her mother is human.
Yes, that was the thing I was going to bring up.
Because her dad is the elf.
Exactly.
Right? Because, if Mother Fortuna is the younger sister of Papa, right? And she's very much an elf, then unless they were both half-elves, which I suppose is possible, right? Probably not. And that means Mama was human, which I'm very curious what the story is there.
Yeah.
But that being said, here we are.
Yeah.
There's that whole seal thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether, originally I thought
it's been mentioned before.
Right.
Yeah.
But, originally when they were talking about the whole idea of a seal, I was thinking that it was maybe like a seal on, a barrier around the place to keep everyone else out.
Oh, right. And then I was assuming that it was something internal, like a little thing inside her, like a spell that had marked her.
Right, but
with
then it's like
way.
this plaque thing with the lock on it.
Kind of reminding me of the thing that the one witch had that had, spider legs and everything, and she was restrained in it.
Yeah, the gluttony. Yeah,
I believe that was gluttony. Yeah,
right. Yeah, because of course gluttony is put in the Hannibal Lecter kind of setup. Right.
Right.
Yeah,
but it looked very similar in terms of the structure of it,
and
so there might be someone inside that seal.
That's possible.
Someone,
the soul of someone. There's lots of. Oh, right, yeah, because especially if Emilia is being brought up as a witch's vessel. Yeah.
Witch's daughter. There's aspects of what
Mom's
Emilia is. Yeah, exactly. There's aspects of what Emilia is.
Oh, no, sorry. That was dumb, because Satala was also a half-elf. So
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, she's not Satala's daughter.
Right.
No, it's just the idea that we kind of have this very strong kind of focus on the idea of her being the next Satala, basically.
Right. And
it fits a lot of
intentionally
things.
raised up.
Yeah.
Like
guarded,
this
prepared
whole
for.
This whole enclave of elves basically is here kind of for her.
It very much seems like that, yeah.
Or at the very least, now that she's here, she is the purpose of the whole enclave.
But why do you assume that she was moved here?
That was just an idea that I had, as a random thing of okay, if as far as a reason why they would be keeping her secret, and then also potentially keeping her secret from other people within the group of witches, because when Echidna gave us all the lore info about the witches, and we started to see some of the witches within that space, it calls into question the original history stuff that we were given about the witches, in that Satala basically devoured them all, and they were enemies of Satala, right? But if this is something where the Archbishop of Greed is showing up and he is pissed and means business.
Yeah, he was looking for a fight.
Right, he was looking for a fight. Then that makes me think that maybe, at the very least, there's conflict between the witches. Or that this is something where this group is not sanctioned behavior. And that basically they got found out, and then they send in the enforcer.
But that assumes alliances between the witches.
Totally. So there's a very good possibility that it's not that, but I wanted to throw that out in case, because I want to know why Regulus Corneus is here. I want to know exactly what Guse's role was here within the greater order. I want to know how he becomes an archbishop and all that stuff. There's lots of lore behind this situation that we don't actually get. We get hints of it, we get glimpses of the effects of it, right? But we don't actually know the details. So
Yeah. It just seems like you have a very specific idea of what makes sense as to why they're like, why couldn't they have been here for like 1,000 years or something?
Oh, they
like
totally
that?
could have. No, the thing of whisking Emilia away, that was just a random thought.
I got
I'm not holding on to that one very strongly.
Okay. The seal, though, it being something that might be tied to her eventual moment where she freezes everything.
Sure.
We might just be seeing basically the point where we go up to the beginning of the OVA, basically.
Right.
Basically, like, how do we catch up to that point? But what I really like about this is that she's made all these friends with the lesser spirits, despite maybe us assuming, maybe incorrectly, that the seal was something related to her power. But she has naturally just used magic in a lot of ways to communicate and interact with these spirits. So maybe there's regular magic, but then power means something more of to Satella.
Right. I feel like it's something where because if the idea, regardless of what's inside the sealed thing, right?
Regardless, yeah.
If she's being raised up to be the host for a witch, right? Probably Satella.
Oh, definitely.
Then there would be things that they would want as simpatico qualities, right? And if she's got a knack for magic and spirit arts and things like that, then good. That's good stuff, right? She's got the gift, and then that means she'll be a better receptacle for when the soul spirit whatever takes her over. And that has the real power, right? And then that might be then what's inside the sealed up thing. Is that and maybe that's because if the witches were 400 years ago, right? That gives some potential lineups with Beatrice's situation, potentially with Betelgeuse, and also with this enclave, because maybe this enclave was then set up around the place where Satilla's power was sealed away.
Okay.
And it's
so the other witches might be just looking for this place where Satilla's, at, and they're trying to get at it, you know.
And these people are like, well, we're going to be secretive and everything, and we will bring you supplies so you can stay here and continue to try and make a living candidates.
Here.
Well, yeah, a living, but then also
candidates,
so that Satilla can return, right? And we'll check up on the
trying,
and you're right, and keep checking up on the seal to see what the situation is, because it's of a power beyond our understanding. If it was something that was done by all the other witches ganging up on Satilla.
Yeah, I almost feel like that's the part that's wrong.
Right, because they were too chummy in the world, in the spirit world, extra dimensional space. Whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing of where they're like, they acknowledge that they can't hurt each other.
Right.
But Satilla's kind of like the awkward child, not necessarily like their enemy.
The rowdy big sister, like,
they're like, oh, and even some of them were excited to see her.
Hey, tell her.
So I don't feel like it's as antagonistic necessarily.
Right. But this figure, Regulus, definitely antagonistic.
Well, that's because in a weird way, remember, Echidna was not a fan of Satilla showing up.
That's true.
So Echidna and Satilla are definitely antagonistic towards each other.
Sure.
So that's where I feel like Regulus being, here and being like ready, spoiling for a fight makes sense, because he's affiliated with Echidna.
Right, right, because he's the Archbishop of Greed.
Uh-huh.
That makes me very curious, though, because
Why?
Beatrice is also a servant of Echidna, at least in the modern day present time that we have, right? If Beatrice was close with Guse, that doesn't necessarily mean they have to have similar affiliations within the witches
No.
Like-
no, it doesn't. Yeah, it's
setup,
a good point.
but I don't know. There's a part of me, well, no, because Guse is very much even when he did become an archbishop, he was the Archbishop of Sloth.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, remember, the thing about this is that Betelgeuse coming into this part of the story here, out of the blue, means that he's basically getting his backstory here.
Right, that
He's getting
recontextualization.
Recontextualization of who he is and why he does what he does.
Before his mind trembled, he was...
Before his mind trembled,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But...
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. My brain trembles, if you will. My theories are hurting right now.
I'm very curious to see how the next episode goes, not just for the tragic events that befall
take
and
place,
how it plays out, but if Regulus says anything in particular before he starts dishing out, because
well, he's a talker.
right, exactly, right, yeah,
He's going off,
and that's why I'm looking forward to it, because I feel like, if he was a true professional, he might just show up and be like, "You done fucked up," and then kill them all, right?
Exactly. That's why I don't get he knew about any of this. Like I feel like this
Regulus?
is yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
this is a thing where he's like, oh,
Right.
okay.
This is
Like
this
this-
is there was some new thing that happened that as a result of that, now he's showing up, right?
Right.
And if that thing had happened earlier, he would have shown up earlier, Yeah, and it's probably be finding this place and knowing about it and all that stuff, right?
Right.
And because he's such a talker, because he's so egotistical, I fully trust that we will get some absolutely wonderful exposition from him before he
Exit
starts.
stage right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all their heads, in tow or something
Well,
like that.
that's the thing. That's why I think also again, he's probably going to not kill actually any of them.
Because we still need to have Emilia actually be the one to freeze everybody.
Well, no, not just that. One, we know Mother Fortuna is at the very least in more of Emilia's memories than what we've seen thus far.
Yes.
Like based on the OVA and stuff, we've actually seen her at like moments where there's like memories and stuff, and she's like nurturing Emilia and stuff, and it's like final goodbyes and stuff like that. And then of course, Betelgeuse, he's
right. But we got this episode in that conversation that was so adorable with Emilia being like, "You guys are kind of like a mom and dad," And then they're like, "Oh, what?" There were the whole thing of, I promise. All this, let's talk about the future.
Yeah.
Let's assume that the future is going to be peaceful and go smoothly,
Right.
All these things will happen. Oh, all of a sudden an archbishop shows up that has crazy powers and
it was
taste
not
for murder.
okay. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh no, I hope you don't see any of what's going to come next, Emilia. You might want to shut your eyes and close your, cover your ears and maybe run that way.
Yeah, my guess is that they're going to fight and they're going to have to retreat because they're going to get beaten. But
Sure.
Betelgeuse is probably going to be the one that will throw himself at the feet of Regulus and be like, "No, I will not let you take them." And then, of course, he either breaks him, doesn't kill him, of course, but breaks him in such a way where then when, the freezing happens, Betelgeuse is both then probably physically beaten, but also then mentally broken.
Because you mentioned something that I think really is a great point, that if it gets to the point where Betelgeuse sees Emilia freeze everybody, including the woman he loves, that could make someone snap.
Well, because he has this obsessive image of Emilia, and I think it's because he knows that she's meant to be Satella. So there's this indirect connection, especially if he's really old. He might have like this love story with Satella from like hundreds of years ago, and it's just him seeing his lover or something like that, and he's just like, I'm not worthy of being able to see you again.
I was already the #1 fanboy, and now help usher in the return of,
right. I'll get to see you again. And then it's the awkward thing of where he's just like, I must be patient, I must be dutiful, I must be loyal. But then the woman he loves ruins the woman he loves and everything else, and that would kind of that would kind of snap the guy. Yeah.
One of the other things I'm curious to get at is that he ends up becoming the Archbishop of Sloth.
Right.
Not of Envy.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the story might be there.
I think it's a little bit simpler than we're missing on here. Is that just because he ends up a sloth bishop at some point, it doesn't have to happen in any direct correlation to this event.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There can still
Freezing-
be things that are unexplained. Yeah.
Well, right, but this freezing thing, this could have taken a lot of time before Emilia then became free and able to move around and stuff, because there's no hint of Puck or anything like
he
that
is
here.
Nowhere near. Yeah.
So yeah. I feel like Betelgeuse just goes on his own story after Emilia freezes everything.
Sure.
And probably, if anything, he probably seeks out the witches' cult to try and find some eventual reconnecting back to Satala or anything, just so
Maybe,
he could.
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah. Really
Okay.
crazy cool just reveal by just having those outfits and Betelgeuse just showing up at this time, and it's just like, what does this mean?
Also, on a simpler note, I gotta say I loved all the little jives or jabs that Echidna threw at Emilia.
Oh, sure.
When they were getting ready to go through the trial and everything, and just the nasty stares and things like that. Those were great.
It feels like, in a lot of ways, Emilia of season 1 was always like, I'm going to be problematic for being around because of the way I look.
Right.
And I'll bet you anything that this is just Echidna being unable to look at her in any way but just like, bitch, you Satala
Being
looking.
all confident and stuff and
Right.
think that what just because he constantly professes his love to you, what?
Well, right. But also the idea that if Echidna and Satala don't like each other,
that too,
then this living visage of Satala walking around and being all serious and stuff has got to be so infuriating for her, because it's just another instance of maybe Satala having the upper hand on her, where she's like, oh no, not only am I winning by developing Emilia into who she'll be, but the guy with the power that you crave, you would love to have, is helping her, is in love with her. They're in love with each other.
And maybe that throws extra context as to why Echidna fell in love with Subaru, because it's the whole thing of the greedy.
You're a key to Satala.
You're a key to Satala. It's the whole thing of how the I look up to Satala even if I hate her, right? So then now that there's this person that she values, I also kind of want to take you away from her.
Sure.
Sure.
But that's a bit envious, though.
That's
not
true.
greedy.
Which
that's
might,
too targeted.
Which
envious wants things because they're
somebody else's.
Greed just indiscriminately
wants everything.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, who knows? Maybe that would be a way that then Echidna would be starting to get a little bit similar to Satala in ways that maybe she wouldn't like. Who knows? Who knows?
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.